Tonight, celebrations continue across Colombia,
A su presidente, Gustavo Petro.
where for the first time, a left-leaning ticket has captured the presidency, electing Gustavo Petro and his running mate Francia Marquez, who's the nation's first black woman vice president.
Una historia nueva para Colombia.
The win means South America's third largest nation may move left after decades of conservative leadership, a direction that is already being met with skepticism.
Realmente lo recibo con mucha incertidumbre, puesto que los planes de gobierno del señor Gustavo Petro son y han sido un poco incoherentes.
Mr. Petro won the election in a runoff, pulling in more than 50% of the vote. The populist candidate Rodolfo Hernandez's 47%.
Están robando. Que estoy muy viejo para tener TikTok.
Hernandez campaigned almost exclusively on social media and was dubbed the king of TikTok for refusing in-person campaign events.
Petro won by a significant margin. 4% victory.
We spoke with Elizabeth Dickinson from Bogota, where she serves as a senior analyst focused on Colombia for the International Crisis Group.
Tell me about the significance of this vote. Why is this such a big deal? Why are other Latin American countries paying attention to this election result?
This is a country that has been at civil war for the last 50 years, just emerging from that. And that was a civil war that pitted the Colombian state against a leftist guerrilla rebel group, which really made any sort of leftist politics really impossible.
Gustavo Petro himself once belonged to a different rebel group known as M19 that eventually became its own political party. While it operated as a guerrilla organization, Petro was jailed for 2 years.
But what is it about his connection to M19 that worries people who oppose him?
Colombia's history of conflict is such that there is deep polarization in the country. And it's not an easy thing to suggest that a formal rebel should be in charge of the very state that it once contested.
Rodolfo Hernandez quickly conceded his loss, bringing an end to an election season driven by threats, misinformation, and often extreme viewpoints.
Lo han hecho escogiendo el otro candidato.
This is a country where over the last 3 years, we've gone from having 90% of the population eating 3 meals a day to just 70% of the population. We're talking about 14 million people who are only eating 2 times a day.
Nearly 40% of Colombians live in poverty as they grapple with joblessness and rising violence. More than half were motivated to cast a ballot.
All right, George Solis joins us now from Los Angeles. George, anytime there's a new president elected in the region, it's always going to change relationships and the dynamic of the region. So I want to ask you about what happens with Colombia and Venezuela right now, a relationship that was fractured in the past. We also know that Colombia is home to several Venezuelan refugees.
Yeah, that's right, Tom. And that is some of the worry among some voters who worry that the president-elect is going to try and rebuild a relationship with embattled Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro. Right now, Colombia is said to be home to more than 1 million Venezuelan refugees.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.